The amount of people, so-called spiritual people, that fixate on raising their vibration, on staying high vibe, right? It's just obnoxious. And in my opinion, it's BS, because fundamentally it is a denial of our humanity, of the emotional spectrum that is accessible in our human experience. And so you may know David Hawkins' emotional chart, signifying that various emotions are in this almost hierarchical fashion correlated with various energetic signatures. And in this way, it ranks the whole array of emotions according to whether they're more positive or more negative, right? And although this may seem good on the surface to have this sense, because we all have this underlying sense that some emotions are more favored than others. Others we want to avoid more so, right? That is just the mind's tendency to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So, but looking beyond that, there is an assumption in this very notion, which is that some emotions are good, others bad. And once we adopt this view, of course we always strive to be positive, to be uplifted, to be exalted and excited, right? It makes sense from a mental point of view to always want to be happy and peaceful, tranquil. But there are so many emotions available as humans, and when we dismiss that, when we reject those portions of ourselves, we end up freezing our emotions in our tissues. We end up creating stagnancy in our body and in our mind. And that will result in not so pretty circumstances, because then you will start acting out your emotions. They will start surfacing at inappropriate times, and that leads to a whole bunch of mess. And you may temporarily be able to just shove it down and pretend to be happy all the time and give off that impression, which you see many people do online today in this day and age. But it is not true, it is not authentic, it is not human. And to be fully integrated, whole and human means to allow emotion, to allow the whole range of emotion, to not fixate, to not want, to not seek emotion to take a certain form. Because when we have this seeking, this striving, this wanting things to be a certain way, what happens when things don't go our way, right? That is the culprit of suffering. And there's a great beauty in allowing human emotion. It is not something to banish, no. To allow that, to be with that, to be fully embodied, to allow the flows and ripples of emotion to wash over you is beautiful. It is wholesome. And when you don't push it away, and you don't try to pull anything towards you either, emotionally speaking, you find yourself kind of just flowing with it, to be in this always okayness, to be in the full acceptance of your entire experience. And that really entails a deeper underlying sense of peace, which was not otherwise accessible to you, or at least overlooked temporarily, because you were so fixated on wanting things to be a certain way. So stop trying to stay high vibe, stop trying to raise your vibration, and start being more human. And with that, please check out the description, join my Discord community if you feel called. Come have a chat with me and the others there. And otherwise, I wish you a wonderful day. Bye.